Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to tonight's stream with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all. And it feels good to be back on my channel. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, family. But go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. Go ahead and drop those locations in the chat, family. Let me know where you're tuning in from right now, because we are live. And I'm super excited to be here with every single one of y'all today. Yes, I see we got Michigan in the building. We got Ohio, Chicago, Trinidad, Alabama. What's up? We got Detroit in the building. Colombo, Sri Lanka, Charleston in the house. Cali, Jamaica, Minnesota. We got Philly in the building. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in Philly. We got the Carolina Panthers in the building. Riverside, California in the house. What's going on, Lewis? Good to see you in the building with us tonight as well, residing from the Bowls and Candy Paint. What's up? I see we got Vermont with us today as well, family. Super excited to be here once again with every single one of y'all. And yeah, we're gonna have a nice little session for today, family. All right, something laid back, something calm, something relaxed. We're gonna go ahead and just analyze the markets overall, look at the things from a fundamentals perspective, sentimental perspective, and then getting into some technicals. There is actually an opportunity that I'm also gonna be looking at going into tonight that I also want to show y'all. You know, it's something that we could probably actually get involved with, hopefully by the time this session, I mean, as long as we're on this session, right? So it's going to be a good one, family. All right, see, we got Iraq in the building. We got Big Texas in the building. What is up? What is up? Let's see, missed my little badge right here. Big shout out to all of my supporters in the building, all you guys that are, different colored names in the chat, different badges near your names. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting me and supporting this channel. And everything that I do is for you guys at the end of the day, right? For those that support me, I support y'all right back with a lot of value, a lot of sauce, and a lot of education that hopefully brings you some clarity, guys, when it comes to trading these markets. All right, because that's my whole intentions, is to give you guys enough information, enough sauce, enough value that provides clarity. Right, clarity is the big key here. Right, we want to make sure that you guys are clear as to what the hell you're looking at, so that you do have a lot of confidence, guys, when you are trading these markets. Right, so I'm excited for y'all. Good night, my boy. I love you. Right, so I'm excited to be here with every single one of y'all. Let's see, smash the like button. Yeah, definitely go ahead and smash the like button if you guys have not done so just yet, guys. I have not actually been using this YouTube channel for the past 2 weeks or so, right? So YouTube might not mess with me right now. So I need your guys' help to let YouTube know that we are back live on this channel, right? So go ahead and smash that like button, family, so we can actually go ahead and get some love from YouTube, and letting them know that, yeah, spread this channel, this video out to more people. Right, so definitely appreciate every single one of you guys that do show me some love, that support me with the like on the stream. It definitely means a lot to me as well. Let's see. I wonder if we can bring them over to the Profit Society channel, right? I'm pretty sure, right? But let's go ahead and get into this, guys, and see what overall the markets have done, right? So we actually did have a couple news releases that happened today. We had consumer confidence, guys, that came out earlier in the day today. And then we also just had CPI that released about an hour and a half ago or so. Right, an hour and a half ago, this release actually came out, right, which did actually show, guys, that CPI is still very much high over there in Australia. Inflation is still very much high. Inflation actually came out, and this is from a quarter-over-quarter perspective, guys. You got to realize a lot of these news releases, depending on where you're reading it at, they're going to come out either on a month-to-month perspective, a quarter-over-quarter perspective, or a year-over-year perspective. Okay, so let me just break that down, because I know that there's a lot of you guys that already understand this, but there's also newer traders on the call that probably don't have no idea about what this is, right? So whenever you see these news releases, guys, and you see something like this, right, Q over Q, that's talking about quarters, right? There are 4 quarters in a year, right? Every 3 months, from January to March or whatever, and so on and so forth, that is a quarter, right? So this release is inflation from a quarter-over-quarter perspective, right? How has inflation held from the last reading, which was the last quarter? So this one actually did come out pretty much as what happened last quarter, right? Last quarter came out at 1.8%. This quarter we ended up coming out at 1.8%, guys. So we didn't see no real change at all. But that also just shows that inflation is still very much high over there, right? So that's going to pretty much just tell the RBA, right, the Reserve Bank of Australia, what they should do, right? What they have to continue to do, right? Which is probably continue to tighten across the board, which is what they have been doing, guys. So overall, no change in the release, which is not going to be no change in the sentiment. Our sentiment is going to be the same overall for the Aussie. And yeah, we want to just play that. But what I do want to talk to you guys about is this consumer confidence. All right, consumer confidence, guys, was actually a very interesting news release, right? Because consumer confidence, guys, really just gives us an insight as to how much confidence the consumers have, in the overall economy, right? And when we do get, certain releases, guys, or certain data that comes out, either positive or negative, the markets usually will give us some type of reaction to that. So looking at this consumer confidence, guys, we actually were forecasting consumer confidence to come out at around 106.5. It actually came out way lower, right, at around 102.5. So this type of release, guys, is pretty much telling us that consumer confidence is still low, right? Consumer confidence is dropping. And one thing that we could do as well is even go into this release, and more times than not, this actual release, guys, will have an actual chart showing us what the actual consumer confidence has been. I mean, we can literally go back years from now, right? But let's just go ahead and look at it, guys, from this perspective, right? We could just say from the beginning of this year, right? So in the beginning of this year, we had consumer confidence around 90, right? We actually seen it spike up a little bit, right? So we actually did have a little bit of consumer confidence increase, guys, at the beginning of the year. But ever since we had this high of around 128.9, which was back in June, right? I mean, we just literally been dropping and dropping and dropping, right? So consumer confidence, guys, has continuously been dropping this entire year, okay? I mean, again, last time we had this big spike up, guys, this was actually in 2021, right? So this was last year, right? A whole year ago was when we actually had some type of confidence. Ever since then, we've just been dropping slowly. And obviously there's a lot of reasons for that, right? We're dealing with a lot of different things right now, guys. We're dealing with inflation. We're dealing with so many wars, right? We're dealing with, there's so many different factors that's really, tying into the consumer confidence being as low as it is. Now, again, if we really are in a recession, which I believe we are, obviously we do have GDP numbers coming out, I believe this week, right, which would tell us if we have 3 consecutive quarters of negative growth. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, right? But overall, if you ask me, which again, I'm not no quote unquote professional, right, in terms of, what am I trying to say, right? I'm not a professional, guys, when it comes to economy, right? I didn't go to college or anything like that, but I am very well versed in understanding these stuffs, right? So I believe we're in a recession. The technical definition has been always 2 quarters of back-to-back negative growth, right? So obviously with the talks of recession, consumer confidence is going to be low, right? There isn't going to be as much confidence overall. Now, why does this matter? Well, when we have high consumer confidence, that usually leads, guys, to more spending across the board. Okay, let me break this down. This is important, guys, right? High consumer confidence leads to more spending. Low consumer confidence leads to a decrease in consumer spending, right? So just think about if you were the Federal Reserve right now, okay? But let's put on our Federal Reserve hat, guys, the central bank, right? If you were the Federal Reserve and you're analyzing this consumer confidence report, right, to try to figure out what consumer confidence is actually doing based off the spending that's occurring, what would you guys rather see, right? If you're the Federal Reserve right now and your main objective is to fight inflation, do you want to see consumer confidence high, which means spending is going to happen, or do you want to see consumer confidence low? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat, family. Let me know in the chat, right? You guys know I love to ask these questions. I like to make sure you guys are on your P's and Q's. I like to make sure you guys are actually paying attention. And I also like to just shout out the ones that actually have been putting in the work, right? But again, the question is, for those of you guys that are in the back, if you were the Federal Reserve, if you were Jerome Powell, all right? Jerome Powell is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, right? If you were Jerome Powell and your main objective is to try to fight inflation, right, which is pretty much a lot of these central banks' main objective right now, is to get inflation under control, okay? How would you react based off of consumer confidence coming out either high or either low? Or what would you prefer to actually for consumer confidence to come out as? Right? Yeah, you want it to come out low. Right? So so the fact that we actually did come out lower, guys, than what was forecasted, this is actually more of a positive thing. Right? This is more of a positive thing. And if we actually look at the markets, what have we done? I mean, we literally just dropped all today. Right? What did the indices do? For the most part, they actually, were going bullish until most recently when we started turning around. Right? And that's because, again, right now, if we are the Federal Reserve, right, and if we want things to align with what our agenda is, then, yeah, we want to see this low. We don't want to see it high. If it came out higher, right, then we probably would have seen a negative reaction, super negative reaction in the indice market. Right? We probably would have seen dollar strength come back in if this number was actually higher. Right? Because this could be leading into the fact that inflation is going to stay high because there's still a lot of spending occurring. Right? That's the one thing, guys, that we have not done. Right? The whole point of the Federal Reserve for them to raise rates is to promote less spending. Right? The Federal Reserve doesn't want people spending. But that's the one thing we haven't stopped doing over here in the U.S. We haven't stopped spending. And that's why there's still such a big concern around inflation because, yeah, we started to see it turn around a little bit, but we're nowhere even near where we truly want to be at 2%. Right? So we have a lot going on, guys. But, again, this report was definitely very interesting, and I wanted to just go a little bit in depth with you guys so you guys can, start to understand how to read this stuff, right? How to really interpret this type of data because this is very important stuff. All right? So that's what we have for the calendar for today overall. And let's actually see what we got for tomorrow as well, right? So we are prepared, right? So tomorrow, guys, we do have new home sales. Again, that it might not do anything to the markets, but we do have, guys, something very interesting at 10 a.m. for the CAD, right, with the monetary policy report. And we also have the interest rate decision. Okay, very interesting here, right? So they're actually planning to raise rates 0.75% all the way up to around 4%, guys, which is pretty much going to be leading the way in terms of central banks. Let me actually, yeah, that's definitely going to be leading the way, guys, in terms of the major central banks, right? The CAD is definitely going to be up there, right? It's going to be the strongest for sure, simply because they are offering the highest interest, right? The highest rate of return for anybody that does, hold money over there, right? So that's going to be very interesting, guys, to see what happens. Again, I don't see why they wouldn't actually come out as forecasted. So just keep that in mind, guys. Tomorrow we do have this major release for anybody that trades CAD pairs. Just be mindful of that, right? That will absolutely shake the markets, right? And then we do have crude oil inventories. And to finish out the day, guys, we do have the Bank of Japan Outlook report, which right now the Bank of Japan Outlook report, guys, is definitely going to be some important releases to pay attention to. Obviously, the Bank of Japan right now is the lone central bank that is doing things a little bit differently, right? Every other central bank right now, guys, is going through the process of quantitative tightening. They're trying to tighten up their balance sheets, tighten up across the board, tighten up spending, everything, right? Where the Bank of Japan, they're still promoting easing, right? They're still in the process of QE, right? Quantitative easing. They're still printing, right? To try to stimulate, their economy, right? And they're just printing all day long. Now, we have just seen the Bank of Japan, intervene, guys, in their actual Forex or in their currency market to try to prop it up because the Japanese yen has been getting destroyed all year, right? But those type of interventions, guys, right, which I could show you how, what it looks like, right? Let's go to UJ, right? So this drop right here, right, this was all due to quote-unquote intervention, right? When the actual Bank of Japan decided to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and step in. We're going to actually start purchasing our own government bonds and so on and so forth. And we've seen a pretty nice reaction off of that, right? But this ain't the first time, guys, that they actually intervened, right? If we actually go back towards September last month, they also tried to intervene in these markets, right? The Bank of Japan is what we're talking about, okay? So understand this. They tried in the past. It did not work. So what is the chances and what is the likelihood? And this is a question I actually want to ask you guys, right? Because I'm somebody, family, that I actually enjoy, conversations, right, and discussions and seeing your guys' outlook, right? So, I mean, if we're going to be looking at history and seeing how the market reacted last time they tried to intervene, and we're seeing how it's reacting now, what is the likelihood of the market going bullish or bearish? What do you guys think the market is going to do? Are we actually going to go bullish with this move? Or is this intervention going to actually send us lower? What do you guys think? What is your guys' honest opinions based off of the intervention and based off of how we're looking at the markets right now? Right? Because, again, they did intervene. Right? The Bank of Japan did intervene. They had to. But is that intervention more of a Band-Aid? Trying to stop the bleeding? Or is that something that they think that's truly going to be able to change the markets? What do you guys think? Bullish macro, run bullish, bullish for sure. Bullish, 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 eventually bullish, short-term bull, still bullish until they actually get to work and change their stance. There we go, Michael. Yeah, 100%. Right, you guys are all on the money. Right, we are still technically, guys, very much bullish here. Right, I mean, in the past, again, they tried to do it. We've seen some weakness here or some strength for the Japanese yen, but it did not follow through. It didn't hold. Right now, again, we've seen strength for the Japanese yen with this big sell-off. In my opinion, it's not going to hold through neither. Right? Because what they're doing right now, guys, over there in the Bank of Japan, and this is why it's so important to be aware, guys, of what, central banks are actually doing and what the stance of these central banks truly are, right? Because the central banks, guys, their decisions, their policies, right, their monetary policies that they implement is absolutely what's shaking these markets. Is what absolutely is causing smart money to make decisions on their behalf, right? So understanding the policies or the stance of central banks, guys, can literally be the blueprint that you guys need to really see consistency here, right? So I truly believe this is going to be short-lived, right? Right now, guys, the Bank of Japan is pretty much, again, quantitative easing, right? They're making it easy. They have extremely low interest rates. In fact, they have negative interest rates, right? Like, that's how much they're trying to promote spending over there, right? Their interest rates are at negative rates, right? So you can get loans over there for stupid cheap, right? Super low rates. But what they're trying to do as well is, although they're in the process of easing, they're trying to throw these little band-aids on here, band-aid, right? These little band-aids to try to prop up the market, and I don't think that that is enough whatsoever, right? So I'm still very much bullish here, guys. UJ, I'm still very much bullish a lot of these yen pairs, to be honest with you, right? UJ, GJ, so on and so forth, all the other ones. In fact, we actually were able to catch an absolute banger this morning, right? An absolute banger. This is something that we actually talked about during our New York session, our New York live stream this morning. Shout out to all you guys that are inside of the Profit Society platform, the social media platform for traders. If you guys are not part of the social media platform for traders, it is free to actually join. Make sure to go ahead and check that out, profitsociety.co. And I will see you there tomorrow morning, Trading New York session live again, right? But this morning we were talking about, guys, this one opportunity that the only opportunity that I was actually in was that GJ buy, right? And the reason why I was in this GJ buy was because, again, I'm bullish GJ, right? Again, this massive drop right here was the intervention, right? The intervention got completely wiped away, right? So we're still back bullish, right? So I was able to take a buy right down here, guys, literally off of this 168 flat level. And I mean, this thing absolutely did its thing, right? Came right to where, I wanted to go ahead and close out and take profit at, right? And I'm still very much bullish here, right? So overall, same concept. As long as these central banks, guys, are remaining with their stances, we have to continue to approach the markets a similar way, right? So I'm still very much bullish against the yen all day long until they finally start to do something, right? And when I'm talking about do something, I mean, again, once they start to raise rates and once they go from negative rate territory into positive rate territory, that could definitely be the start of the shift here for the yen overall. But I think they're going to have to do something very drastic, guys. Like, I think they're not just going to have to get out of the negative territory, but they're going to have to raise rates pretty aggressively to try to catch up with all these other central banks if they truly want their currency to stop free falling. Right, so that's going to be interesting, but I'm still going to remain bullish on these pairs, bullish on the yen pairs until we actually see them do something. Right now, yeah, you can try to position yourself for the rumors. I know people that are actually trying to position themselves for the rumors, but for right now, during this period in time, I'm good on that. Right, I'd rather just trade what I can see, trade what we're analyzing it, and then go from there. So overall, guys, yeah, I'm still very much bullish. The yen pairs, right? Just because of that. But again, back to what initially even started that whole discussion, right? This report right here, right, can give us an insight, guys, as to what is actually going to happen moving forward. Right now, again, if we really do want to figure out what the Bank of Japan is doing, then actually looking at these quarterly outlook reports can give us some insight, right? It could tell us what the Bank of Japan's plans are, right? If they plan on tightening up very, very soon, or if they're going to continue with their policies, right? As far as I've read, I've seen articles online, a bunch of them. As far as I've read, the Bank of Japan has no intentions as of yet to change stance, right? So they're going to continue with their stance that they have been. They're going to continue to try to intervene, throw that Band-Aid on it, but it's not going to do anything, right? That's not going to be a long-term solution for what they're dealing with right now. So take all this information, family, and really position yourselves in a phenomenal way in these markets. Like, this is how we really figure out market direction and what the hell is going to happen, understanding the data, right? The data is very important. So this is going to be interesting overall, though, guys, for sure. All right, so now that we got all that out the way, let's go take a look at the markets and see what actually happened, right? Because we actually did see a very interesting move here, right? And again, this is exactly what we pretty much talked about, guys, at the beginning of the week. On Sunday, me and the team, we actually did a weekly overview. And I pretty much just told everybody that I expected the dollar to continue to drop, and that's pretty much exactly what we've been seeing. We've been seeing the dollar, guys, just continuously, dropping and dropping, and I wanted to see it drop until we actually got into this 110.5 level. So this 110.5 level, guys, is now going to be a very interesting level for me, right? Seeing how the market actually ends up playing around this level can really tell me a lot. I want to look for the buys. That's going to be like my biggest thing, right? Because obviously we have been extremely bullish, and I do like this area. So I'm going to be looking for the buys now, right? This could really be the point where we do start to see, dollar dominance possibly come back in. If we're talking about things from a technical perspective, this will be the area where we do start looking for opportunities to go ahead and go long again, right? From a technical perspective. And I say that because typically we would want to see some type of a catalyst, right, to align ourselves with, but we don't have no major news for the US. Yeah, nothing crazy that could really be a catalyst. Maybe on Thursday, right, with this GDP report. That GDP report could absolutely be the thing that truly sends us flying on Thursday, right? So I definitely like the opportunity, guys, to start looking for some long plays. I would personally be looking for the dollar to drop a little bit more, maybe go ahead and fill a little bit more of this imbalance before we actually started flying. But I definitely am going to be starting to position myself, guys, to get back aligned with the overall major trend that we've been in, right? We've been very bullish for some time, right? I mean, literally ever since they started to raise rates, like, we went bullish. Like, literally, guys, as soon as they started to raise rates, I mean, this market, I mean, not as soon as they started to raise rates, but the writing was on the wall that they were going to eventually have to raise rates. So this thing started to fly. So there's no reason to change it. The Fed is still planning to raise rates. Like, literally, right? They're still planning to raise rates, guys, next month in November, right? They're most likely going to raise it another 75 basis points. So as long as the Fed is hawkish, we want to stick with what we have been staying with, right? So that is bullish dollar. So yeah, I want to start looking, guys, for opportunities for this now to finally start to rebound back to the upside, right? And potentially go all the way back up to these highs. So that's going to be a very interesting play here, guys, for the dollar. Again, I'm still very much bullish. We have now seen price come down into levels of structure. Again, I do want to see it run a little bit lower to around that 110.5 level. But overall, guys, we are getting into areas where we could start to look for some, higher pricing here for the dollar. So now that we have that idea in mind that we should start looking for some more long-term buys again, let's actually go ahead and take a look at the markets, right, and see what we can actually come up with now, right, in terms of setups. So I'm actually looking at, gold, right? Gold is actually a very interesting play here, guys. Very interesting opportunity. Because if gold is going to do it, or if it's going to react how it's been reacting, ever since we started raising rates, then we're probably going to continue seeing lower pricing here for gold, right? I would still very much, guys, expect lower pricing here for gold, right? I think there's a good opportunity for us to go ahead and continue to short. And yeah, that's how I really want to play it. In fact, there was an opportunity, guys, that I was actually very interested in, and that is going to be this gold sell, right? I think there's actually a chance for price to realistically, actually start to sell off for gold. I was looking at this area that we're currently at right now, right? And I think that there could be an opportunity for this thing to actually start to roll over and drop from here. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this for sure. But the other area that I'm very interested in, guys, as well, is if we can actually maybe go ahead and run these highs right here. Right, I would say around, what is this, the 1654 level. Right, if we can go ahead and clear the 1654 level, I think that could be a nice opportunity for us to then go ahead and look for some shorts, right? So something like this, guys, and I'm on the 5-minute time frame, right? But something like this, maybe a spike above here and an initial rebound back below, I'm selling that all day long. Okay, I am selling that all day long, right? And I really just want to see price come here and really just run and capture some of this liquidity that's probably positioned up here, right? So if we could see a spike above this 1654 and then a close back below on the 5-minute, I really do like the opportunity to go short, right? And again, this is something, guys, that we could really, monitor right now, right? Because this can really happen any minute, right? So we're going to keep our eyes on this for sure. I'm actually going to set an alert, all right? I'm going to go ahead and set an alert as well so we are alerted for when price does get up there, so we can go ahead and come back to it and make sure that we're not going to miss that, right? So I'm going to keep my eyes on this, guys, but I do want to see price potentially go ahead and run this high and then come back below that level. And then I really like that opportunity. I think that could be a juicy play, right? So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we can go ahead and get this wick fill and then take advantage of it. All right, so let's see what else we got here, guys. That's just something I'm gonna keep my eyes on for gold and see how that plays. Euro USD is definitely gonna be setting up, in my opinion, nicely. Because if we are gonna go bullish the dollar, then I mean, this has to drop, right? Like the euro does the exact opposite, guys, of what the dollar index does, right? Like the exact opposite, right? So I think that there is a good chance for this market, guys, to realistically actually go ahead and truly drop. You know, we are seeing price now up at these levels of structure, right? And we are starting getting some type of bearish reactions, right? But now what I want to see here, guys, is if, right? Let me go ahead and make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. Right, so yeah, I want to see price now. I want to see it clear these highs. Let me see. It might not even come up to those highs and clear them, but I would love to see price, guys, come back up to these areas up here around this. Yeah, I would say around 0.997, 0.998 level. If we're able to see price maybe come up here, clear these highs, and then go ahead and come back below, then I think that could be a nice opportunity, guys, to go ahead and start shorting the euro, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. It's literally going to be, you know, a lot of patience with this, right? I'm not going to be rushing it. I'm not going to be forcing anything, right? I really am going to be patient with this, right? If we can see a spike above, clear these highs, and then we see, you know, this come right back below, then that could really be signs that we are going to start to lose some steam here for the euro. All right, so that's going to be very interesting, guys. If there's a specific area that I'll be looking for, let me go ahead and just look to the left over here. Right, if there is a specific area of structure that I'm going to be trying to play, it's going to be somewhere in between these levels right here. All right, I think the next best area will be around the 0.999 level. Seeing price come up to the 0.99 could, again, be a very, very good opportunity, guys. But overall, like I said, I do want to see the run of the highs, the sweep of the highs, the sell back in, and then from there we go ahead and take advantage of it. Right, so that's going to be very interesting, guys, to see exactly what the market does do. But we are going to be patient. Again, I'm not doing anything unless I see the run of the highs and then, you know, come back low. Right, so that's going to be one I'm going to keep my eyes on for sure. All right, let's see what we got here in the chat. Let me go ahead and catch up with you guys. I do appreciate all you guys for rocking with me today. Let's see, USD Swiss buys. What do you think? Let's go take a look at USD Swiss buys, right? See what we got here. All right, so USD Swiss. What have we done, right? We haven't really done nothing at all for the past 2 weeks or so, right? We really haven't been doing much. But what can we really expect? Like, what can we expect next, guys, for USD Swiss? Right, well, there's going to be a few things I'm going to be looking for personally. We do have these lows right here, guys, that are probably going to be super attractive lows in terms of what we can actually run. I do think that we are going to be bullish USD Swiss. But similar concept as to what I'm looking for the other things, right? We do have, again, you know, this equal low, guys, right here that is now being created, right? A similar concept, right? Again, like, don't overcomplicate trading, right? If we see this support right here, we're looking for buys. That's cool, right? We can look for those buys, but again, keep in mind these supports, guys, are, you know, absolute magnets, right? Price loves to go ahead and run those supports. So I would look for buys, but I need to see price go ahead and capture liquidity first. I want to see a capture liquidity, right, and then a rebound, and then from there we go ahead and go bullish. Again, I tell you guys all the time, guys, what my favorite patterns are, right? My favorite pattern in a bullish market is going to be something like this, where we see the market bullish, and then we see something like this. Then we see something like this, which is more considered like reaccumulation. We have these lows, we run the lows, and then we rebound. Right, break structure back to the upside, and then from there we go ahead and ride it up, right? I love this pattern right here, right? That's like my go-to pattern, right? And that's in a bullish scenario, right? Bearish scenario is going to be the same exact thing, right? Bearish scenario, very strong push down. You know, we've seen the market start to correct a little bit, create all of this resistance. We go ahead and we capture that liquidity that was just built up. You know, and then we rebound back down, break structure, and then we go ahead and continue bearish, right? So that pattern, guys, if you guys can really get accustomed to seeing it, and actually be patient enough to wait for it, then yeah, this is gonna really help you guys' accuracy out tremendously, right? And again, it just comes down to being patient. That's why I truly enjoy, guys, the New York sessions that we do live, because again, doing an analysis is one thing, right? Like me marking this stuff up, me telling you guys wait for the liquidity grab and all that good stuff, that's one thing, right? It's still going to be very hard for you guys to do, right? Just because I'm telling you guys what to look for doesn't mean that in real time you're going to be able to actually accomplish that. That's why the live sessions are so crucial, right? Actually seeing us do it in real time, right? Going from analysis straight to execution. Now that's a game changer, right? Being able to see exactly how a trader executes on a position, like what their actual trade filters and their trade triggers are, right? Those is the game changers. That's what truly is going to change the game, right? So looking for things like that, guys, is definitely crucial. And that's why I recommend you guys to jump on the New York session live tomorrow morning. Go to the ProfitSociety.coach website and sign up. So yeah, that's what I would like to see, though, right? I would like to see the wipe of the lows. We wipe those lows. Amazing. We rebound. I'll look to buy it off of the rebound for sure. All right, all day long. All day long. That will be lit. All right, let's see what else we got here. After a long time later, Abel, sir, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was looking to buy gold around 1643-ish. Let's go back to gold. Let's see. Okay, so look at this, guys. We are starting to push up with gold. Let's go ahead and keep our eyes on it. All right, we're going to keep our eyes on gold. Let's go ahead and bring up volume indicator, bring up my MACD, and see what the market is about to do up here. Again, if we are able to come up in this level, guys, and completely rebound back below, I definitely am going to be looking for some opportunities to possibly short here, right? So we're going to keep our eyes on this, see what happens. But overall, like I said, I want to see this level right here, 1654, pretty much get ran, recover, and then we'll go ahead and get in. Right, let's see. You said 1643-ish. Yeah, I mean, that 1643-ish area is going to be a very interesting level for sure to look for some buy from, because, I mean, just look at what happened in the past, right? All these little yellow dots, it just shows how much of a interesting level that is, right? So off of that 1643, there is a chance for us to catch a little reaction off of that. I think there is a good chance for that. In fact, I mean, there's probably a really good chance that we go from that 1643 if we go back down. I'm not sure if we're gonna go exactly. My guess will be around maybe 1645, and then we could see potential higher pricing. Right, that is a very good possibility. Very, very good possibility. Right, so, yeah, if you like it, then take it. Again, I would personally be looking for some buys around this 1645 level. I don't know if we're going to come all the way back down to 1643, right? But that 1645 definitely looks like an interesting level, right? And it also matches pretty much what we're looking for, right? If we're able to get this spike above, guys, yeah, I think that there could be a really good opportunity here, right? Even if we do write it down to that 1645, right? That's around just about, what, 100 pips or so? Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. All right, so we'll see what happens. Again, we're going to be patient. We're not going to force anything. We're going to see what the market, and again, this is literally how I trade, at least in real time, guys, right? When I'm actually trading, like, I'm not usually doing pending orders like that, right? Most of the time, I'm watching in real time so that I can see what the price action is telling me. Because there's two ways that you guys can really do this, family, right? It's either you're going to be using, pending orders, or certain points of interest, and you take the trade from there, put your stop loss where you want to put it, and then you go on by your day. Or you could do it how we do it, and we actually are watching it in real time, right? And the reason why we watch it in real time is because we'll be able to, depending on what the actual market does, depending on the price action that we see, more times than not, you'll be able to get a much better risk reward when you're actually watching it in real time. Because now we're going to be playing off of the reaction, right? So if we do see price spike up into here, and then we immediately reject, right? So now I could probably put my stop loss a lot tighter, because I'm really playing that reaction, the rejection, right? So we'll have a tighter stop overall, which will also give us a much better risk reward, right? And that's why we like to actually watch it in real time and analyze price action in real time. And I mean, again, like, real time analysis is crucial, because we won't always take the trade neither, right? Like imagine if this trade does come up into this range, right? Yeah, I initially want to look for the sell, but if we come up into this range and we don't get that closure back below, then I'm not in the trade anyways, right? So then I would avoid that trade because it's not doing what I typically want to do, right? So that's another reason, guys, why analyzing it in real time and watching price action in real time is also beneficial, right? You can actually, decide based off what you're seeing if you even want to jump in. All right, so that's going to be dope to see overall. But yeah, that 1643 is going to be an interesting level. Those USD CAD buys are setting up pretty nice. Let me hear your thoughts. Waiting for deeper mitigation. Took shorts early on New York. Nice opportunity. Didn't want to just marry one bias, right? Let's go take a look at USD CAD and see what we got here for the CAD, right? So, all right. So, again, we did have, this is a very interesting pair, actually, right? Looking at USD CAD, comparing it to like a lot of these other USD pairs. But the CAD itself is also very strong, right? Keep in mind, guys, right, that the US dollar and the CAD are very strong. Now, just because of what we're doing here in terms of price action, right? Again, very simple. Let me break this down. We had a very interesting move higher, all right? We had a nice strong run up. And then we had the market start to create, all of this structure right here. All of this structure right where we had these highs, we had the highest high, and then we had these lower highs, right? So overall, we're starting to see this momentum, guys, shift here on the 4-hour time frame for USD CAD in terms of bullish momentum, right? And we can see that by the highs, by literally look at what the price action is doing. So you combine this, and I say that to say this, right? You combine the fact that price action is starting to shift, also with the fact that, again, we do have, guys, again, this monetary policy report and the interest rate decision tomorrow. I think that there's actually a good chance for this thing to actually sell, right? And again, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, because again, remember what I said with the dollar index. The dollar index, I would like that to go bullish, right? So me expecting the USD CAD to sell is really going against my analysis of the dollar as a whole. But the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm also taking into account the fact that, again, interest rates come out tomorrow for the CAD, right? They're most likely going to raise it to 4%, right? So that could give some strength to the CAD, right? Some short-term strength against the dollar, because, again, it does have more relevant news, major news, right? Major news that's coming right now. Whereas the U.S., we don't have nothing crazy till, Thursday with GDP, right? So I think, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. Remember, I'm not even in no trades for USD CAD. But I think we go lower, right? I don't know. It's just, that's what I'm getting right now, right? I think we actually go lower. And I could be wrong, like I said. And if I'm wrong, it is what it is. But I definitely am leaning towards lower pricing here for USD CAD. At the very least, I would like to see price, guys, come down to around this 1.356 level. Take out this 1.356 level, a week low, and then possibly come to around that 1.35, right? But yeah, I think, and I keep on saying I think because, again, I think a lot of people have a misconception that professional traders are psychics, right? Like, we're not psychic, right? We just, make decisions based off probabilities. We take the trade, we manage our risk, we protect our capital, and then we deal with the consequences. It's that simple. All right, but overall, guys, even if USD CAD does start to spike up, I'm not falling for it, and I think we're still probably going to continue going lower. All right, so that's my guess here on USD CAD. I could be wrong, like I said, but just with news coming out tomorrow, CAD could actually gain strength since they're actually going to raise rates again. So that's just something to keep in mind. We'll see, honestly, what actually happens tomorrow, how the markets do interpret it, but that's my guess overall. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Over 100 people on the stream. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you, Chino. Right, family, definitely go ahead and smash the like button if you got some value so far tonight. Again, these are free sessions, free streams, and I truly enjoy doing these free streams. But the only thing I ask is just a little bit of support by smashing that like button, right? It does do a lot more for me in this channel, guys, right, than you guys might even think, right? So if you guys support the channel, if you guys support what we've been talking about, all this value you guys been getting, definitely go ahead and let's get the likes to match up with the viewers. That would be absolutely amazing, right? And I appreciate you guys ahead of time for that. All right, so that's USD CAD, guys. Let's see what else we got here. NAS 100. Yeah, let's go take a look at NAS, right? See what the nasty NAS has been doing. All right, so overall, guys, right, we actually had a very interesting day, right? A very interesting day so far in NAS. As soon as 9 o'clock opened, well, realistically, you know, once 9:30 came, we actually seen this thing, guys, actually gain a lot of strength, right? But as the end of the day started to come in, it completely erased all the gains that actually happened. Now, I got a question for you guys. Now, this might be a little bit of a trickier one, right? But why do you think, and there's a specific reason for this, but why do you think, guys, after a nice start to the day, we ended up erasing all of those gains that we had here by the end of the day? Why do you think we actually started to see some selling pressure here for NAS come into play? Who knows the answer to this? All right, now again, this is going to be a little bit of a trickier question. You got to really think outside the box with this one. Or at least if you actually been tuning in, you should already know, right? But it's definitely a little bit of more outside the box, right? So why did we actually end up selling off pretty aggressively? Let's see. First time here. What's going on, Abel? Welcome to the stream. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Let's see. GU looks like a nice sell. GU. Okay, I'll take a look at GU after this. I'm looking at volume profile on my chart with a tool called volume profile. There's a lot of volume sitting right at your point of interest on gold, indicating willingness to sell. Just some confluence. Nice. Let's go. Shout out to you, G. I appreciate you. Let's see. Abe the Great. Shout out to that boy Cody. I appreciate you. What's going on, my brother? Let's see. What else we got here? I think those earnings more important than the interest rate. We could see stock market crash soon, in my opinion. Earnings could do it. Shout out to you, Eric. You definitely been on top of things for sure, bro. Ever since you've been in these streams, you have definitely been very knowledgeable for sure, man. It's great to see your insights for sure. Let's see. When you're looking for the rebound, what time frames are you usually looking for in time frames? So I usually like those rebounds, guys, in like the 5-minute, 15-minute time frames. Those are my entry time frames: 1 minute, 5 minute, 15. Those are the only time frames I actually enter trades on. And that's when I usually look for those rebounds. All right, so let's see. So the question that I asked here, guys, was about NAS and why do we think this thing actually ended up closing out bearish? Let's see. Trapped buyers' liquidity to give sellers a better area. Bad earnings. There we go. All right, let's see. There we go. Earnings. There we go. Investors pricing in. News. Grab liquidity. Consumer confidence, right? There's a lot of great answers to this, but it had to do with earnings, right? The earnings report, guys, right? The earnings report is a major thing, right? Especially when we're talking about NAS, right? For those of you guys that don't know what NAS 100 is, guys, NAS 100 is an index that measures the top technology companies in the world, all right? So if we also understand, guys, that the NAS is pretty much an index measuring the top technology companies in the world, and we look at all the major earnings reports that we had for this month, we can see exactly why this ended up, tipping over. Let's see if I can actually bring some of these reports up, because I know that there was Apple is at the end of the week. I think Microsoft is at the end of the week. But we actually had some actually start to come out today that was actually pretty drastic. Let me actually go ahead and see what we got. Earnings reports today. And let's see what we got here. All right, so let's see. We have Microsoft. Was it Microsoft? All right, so yeah, Microsoft was for today. Right, so there was actually a few, guys. I'm actually gonna for everybody that's gonna be inside of the platform tomorrow, I'm actually gonna do a report, guys, on a bunch of these stocks, right, and see what their earnings reports are. But for the most part, guys, yeah, what happened with Microsoft and what happened with a combination of a bunch of other big type corporations, right? We're talking about like Fortune 500 companies, right, in the tech space. We're starting to see, guys, massive missing projections in terms of earnings. Right, earnings are not coming out as strong as they would like to see, right, and that is going to affect NAS 100 100%, right? So because of the earnings reports that were coming out, that's why we started off strong. But once these reports started actually releasing near the end of the day, it completely sent us right back down, right? So that is very, very important to be aware of, guys. For those of you guys that trade indices, again, you have to understand, guys, how much of an influence these stocks do have in the index market. I mean, it's kind of common sense when you actually understand it. If the indices are a basket of stocks, right? Like, yeah, it's going to influence it tremendously, right? So that's why I think we actually seen it occur. I think we're going to continue seeing more lower pricing here for NAS as we continue to go through this entire week, guys, with all these different companies actually releasing their earnings report. I'm not seeing too many companies that are going to actually have some good earnings reports at all, especially with everything that we've been seeing. So this is probably going to just continue to sell off. All right. So I'm still very much bearish here, guys, for sure. With these indices, with NAS, so for NAS itself, if we could, I mean, we're at a level right now, and I don't even like trading NAS around this time, right? I really like to get in during New York session. But we're at a point, guys, where this thing could realistically really start to drop from these areas. Right, like it really could start. It really could continue to drop. Right, I think we could see price maybe spike up into this 11,400 level, and then we could start to see this thing roll over. All right, so just keep your eyes on that. If you like trading indices, I know I'm a fan of it. I definitely started to do it a lot more this year. I started to get into it a lot more, and I see why there's a lot of hype for it. But yeah, I would like to see something like that overall, guys. Right, for NAS. So again, I'm not getting into anything right now. But if by the morning time New York session comes, we're trading around this area, oh yeah, I'm going to be looking for that sell for sure. Right, so that's very interesting, guys. So I hope you guys are understanding all this stuff and how to really trade, indices for sure. All right, so let's see. Somebody said gold. Let's go take a look at gold. Has gold got into our area? All right, so nothing yet, man. Gold is just getting very, very close into this zone, and it's not really doing anything just yet, right? But if we really look at this thing, guys, again, I'm not interested unless we clear these highs. Like I really want to see a liquidity grab above these levels, and I like to get that evidence, right? So we're gonna still be patient on gold. Again, no rush. There's no need to rush, right? And we'll take advantage of it once we actually are able to, right? That's why I got my alert here. As long as we're able to, we're gonna take advantage of it. All right, let's see what else we got here. How about Euro AUD? I remember you were looking for a buy. Yeah, I look at Euro AUD as well. There was a couple other ones that were called first. GBP USD was one of those. Let's go take a look at GU, and then I'll take a look at Euro AUD. All right, so GU, very interesting play here for GBP USD. Similar concept, guys, what I was looking at for the Euro. I think we are at areas where we could start to see this thing realistically turn around a little bit lower. I think I would prefer to see price come up to these areas. All right, so I think we have a little bit more upside here for pound dollar. I would like to see it come up to this 1.158 level. I think at this 1.158 level, there is a very good opportunity, guys, for us to actually go ahead and go short. All right, so that's what I will be looking for, GU. All right, but just know, if we are able to get an entry, and if what we're predicting here for the dollar is correct, then sheesh, like we're gonna be able to catch a big bag, guys. We're talking about, back down to these lows, which is once we're able to get in the sell, we're able to find our entry for that sell. Like we're talking about 1,000 pip move to back down to the downside, right? I don't know about y'all, but I need that 1,000 pips, right? I need every single last pip of this 1,000 pip move, right? So that's why I'm gonna be very, very cautious with GU. I'm gonna be eyeing this thing like a hawk. But I would really love to see it come up to here, right? If we can see price come up to this 1.16 level, that's when I'm gonna start looking for some bearish opportunities here, right? Off of that 1.16. All right. So unless we're up in that area, I don't care about no sells, right? That's where I want to sell from. Okay, up in there. All right, so that's what I'm gonna be waiting for, guys. See what the market does give us. Other than that, I really have nothing interested for GU. Obviously, if you're more intraday trading, you can probably catch some moves off of these levels. But for me, I'm not interested in trying to chase this right now, right? Like at all, right? So I'm just gonna let price get to that area that I'm interested in. If we get up there, I'll take the trade. If not, then I'll be on the sidelines for this one. All right, so let's see. What do you think about yo, Abel, can you show us how you read the economic calendar, right? I mean, it's pretty much what I talk about on every single session. Nothing too crazy, right? For every single release here, guys, again, there's going to be an actual forecast in the previous. Depending on how the release actually comes out, it's going to create sentiment across the board based off that release, and off the sentiment is what you want to do, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start creating a video breakdown, guys, breaking down news, right, and just showing you guys how to read the calendar and all that good stuff. And I'll actually create it and I'll drop it on my channel. If not this week, I'll drop that next week for sure, right? So I'll work on that video, and I got y'all. I'll break that down so you guys know how to read the economic calendar. All right, so let's see. Japan said they wanted inflation and their latest CPI was 3%. How do we use this info, right? That's actually a very good question, Michael, because that is true, right? Japan's, and this is something that I actually just learned too very recently, right, in terms of comparing how, you know, consumers are, right, or how the residents of certain countries are compared to others. You know, over here in the U.S., we're historically known to be consumers, right? We spend like crazy over here in the U.S., like everybody. But in other countries, like in Japan, it's the opposite, right? They don't spend, right? They have a lack of spending, which is why, you know, their policies are structured the way that they are, right? Which is why there's still negative interest rates, right? They've been negative rates for, I think, a decade now, right? And it's just because, again, how they're raised. You know, over there in Japan, they don't like spending money, right? They actually have a problem with, you know, saving, and that's not what the banks and the government wants people to do. Right, so the whole reason why they're actually, you know, wanting inflation to go higher is, I mean, they need to do something, right, to try to fight, you know, this sell-off that the yen is experiencing, right? If they see higher inflation, then that can give them a reason to actually start to tighten up across the board, you know. So that's what they're hoping for, so that they can actually change. But it seems like what they want to happen and what actually could happen is like it's not lining up with the Bank of Japan, and that's probably why they continuously getting destroyed. All right, so I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see what the Bank of Japan does do, guys, for the remainder of the year for sure, right? But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting for sure. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go take a look at Euro Aussie now, right? Because I was very interested in Euro Aus. In fact, guys, right? Again, we spoke about this earlier today, and there was the only opportunities, guys, that I was actually looking for, right? So I was already in GJ buys this morning when we were analyzing this market. And the second opportunity that I gave everybody was looking for this quick sell-off to then eventually look for the bigger buy here. We have not really done much all day, like at all, right? But we were able to actually get filled into this entry. Okay, so this trade right here, guys, is the same exact one that we spoke about this morning. And yeah, you know, we actually did end up getting filled, all right, with this big spike up right here that we actually seen. So right now, this trade is currently running around 50 pips in profit, right? Just under 50 pips in profit. And it's going well, right? It's doing exactly what we spoke about this morning, right? Just looking for the sell-off from here, send us down to here, then looking to actually go ahead and buy it down there, right? So now that the sell, guys, is actually in play, I still do like the buy situation too, right? Very simple. I would like to see this trade come down to around this I would say the 1.55 level. And around that 1.55 level, guys, is really where I would be interested in actually taking some long positions here, guys, on Euro AUD, right? So, yeah, it looks good. You know, riding out this sell. That's what I'm going to do. Just continue riding out this sell. And then see if we can go ahead and get into this buy probably tonight, you know, going into tomorrow, right? So that 1.55, in my opinion, looks very, very juicy for the buy, guys, right? But again, this is all done. Like, we analyzed this in real time this morning. Right, like in real time, like literally in real time. So again, if you guys want to be a part of that New York session stream where we're actively looking for trades, like right now, what I'm doing here is just mainly education, right? Like I come out here, I talk my stuff, I provide you guys with some value, some sauce, right? I provide you guys with some education. But if you guys want to be in the live trading, this is what I need y'all to do. Go to this website right here, all right, profitsociety.co. and go ahead and join the beta, right? If you are not a member just yet, go ahead and join the beta so you are a member of that, guys. And then once you guys are members of the actual platform, then you'll be able to actually go ahead and do all this cool stuff that we could do, right? We know we actually created a social media platform for traders, right? We have over 700 people, guys, that are now inside of the platform, right? And all we're doing is, talking trades, right? Which is, next level, right? Like next level, right? So again, like, I mean, we can even watch me live right here inside the platform, right? So you don't even need to leave the platform. And look at, right? This is like in real time. This is live right now, right? I dropped the link in here, right? So overall, like I was saying, yeah, make sure to be in here, guys. We do go live Tuesday through Thursday, New York session, live in real time, right here in this platform, right? Very simple. You go to the Zoom, and you'll be able to see the upcoming meetings, right? But we do have past meetings as well, right? And all that good stuff. So, but yeah, that's where we're at, guys, for that. So make sure to be a part of it. New York session tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Be there or be square, or just miss out on some fire trades, right? But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for Euro AUD. I really like this 1.55 level, so that's what I'm gonna be waiting, right? See if we can get down there. That'll be pretty lit. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I remember you were looking for a buy up. It's getting real. All the interventions Bank of Japan did, it faded off that quick. I mean, they are in a basket. They're going to have to change sentiment. Yeah, I mean, they definitely will eventually. But sentiment isn't going to change until they finally start to, become hawkish. Let's see. Kanye makes markets moves. That's hilarious. All right. Let's see. Crazy shifts on odd CAD. Okay. Drop a like. Yeah, I appreciate you, D. Warner. Definitely go ahead and smash the like button, family. I appreciate all you guys that have been smashing it. Definitely means a lot to me. All right, so let's go check out odd CAD, right? And I'm trying to see all your guys' currency pairs that you guys want analyzed. So let me just make sure I caught up with all of them. All right, yeah, I think I did. All right, so there is odd CAD, guys, and I'm not going to do odd CAD. All right, and the reason why I'm not going to do odd CAD is because we are actually doing our contest of the week. All right, our contest of the week, our pair of the week is odd CAD. Right, so for those of you guys that are again not inside of the platform just yet, family, we do a currency of the week contest, right, where we actually allow the traders to come in and actually break down this market, right? So for this week, guys, the currency pair of the week is odd CAD, right? Odd CAD is the currency pair of the week. Now, what is the goal? To create a complete and accurate analysis and expectation of price action for odd CAD, including technical, fundamental, and sentimental analysis. The prize, it's either a private one-on-one session, right? And I'm actually allowing it to be two prizes, right? It's either a one-on-one session or a $10,000 funded account through my Forex funds, right? Whichever or, right? Realistically, I don't know. We might actually end up doing $25,000 accounts, right? But the choice is truly yours, right? Either a one-on-one to fine-tune your education, your knowledge, or a funded account, right? But overall, the reason why I'm not going to analyze this one is because you guys have till tomorrow to drop your analysis, guys. So if you do want to get a chance to win a private one-on-one or a funded account, make sure to have your entry in by tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. That is the cutoff. All right. So if you do not get it in by tomorrow, then do not expect to be in the running. Right. So we actually did our most recent one, guys, for Euro Pound. And shout out to our winner, RJ, right? But he actually won, and he actually chose the funded account, right? So he already got his funded account. I'm pretty sure he's already trading on it and all that good stuff, right? So big shout out to, RJ for sure, for winning, based off of his actual analysis, right? So this was the actual analysis right here. Let me actually go ahead and find it. Right, there was a lot of great drops, by the way, right? But this was RJ's analysis. Pretty much broke it down from a fundamental to a technical perspective, also highlighting 4-hour supply and demand zones, and the market literally reacted nicely off of that 4-hour supply, right? So big shout out to you, RJ. Appreciate you for actually participating, bro, and hopefully that that funded account serves you well. You guys want to know what's crazy too, and RJ can contest to this too. Like when I gave him the funded account, I told him. And this goes for anybody, all right? And this goes for anybody. For whoever actually does end up getting, say, accomplishes or, wins the contest and chooses the funded account, for your first payout, if you're able to actually get a payout on that account, that $10,000 account, all right, I'm actually going to match the payout. That's me out of my pocket, right? That's not coming out of nowhere else. It's coming out of my pocket, right? And I just want to do it as a thank you for supporting. right? So for those of you guys that do decide to get the actual prop firm, the funded account, if you get to the actual live version and you actually get a payout, Abel is going to match your payout. Just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. All right. Like I said, I love to give back, man, and I wanna, support those that are actually putting in the work, right? So that's gonna be pretty lit, right? And again, if you could do it, amazing. If you can't, it is what it is, right? But that's where we're at for that, guys. All right, so that's why I'm not doing odd CAD though. All right, that's why I'm not going to analyze odd CAD. I'm just going to let everybody else analyze. There's already a bunch of you guys that already had submitted it already in the platform, so big shout out to y'all. All right, let's go see what gold is doing, right? Is gold ready to come for us yet? Let's see. Gold is still chilling, guys. All right, so again, we're still going to be patient for gold. See what the market does give us, right? See if we can see this spike up. In the meantime, we're just going to be patient. And yeah, we're gonna see what's up. Let's see what Euro USD is doing. Nothing on Euro USD. Euro AUD, again, that's doing pretty good. AUD USD, nothing crazy. NZD USD, nothing crazy. I think that we're just probably gonna sell off overnight here. I think we're probably just gonna continue to sell off throughout the night. Same thing for NZD. We'll probably just continue to sell off throughout the night, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong. It is what it is. Right, but yeah, those are the ones we're going to be keeping our eyes on, guys, throughout the night. Right, see what happens. Again, for GJ, this is something to keep your eyes on. Right, for GJ, I really do want to look for a re-entry, guys, on GJ. Right, so if we're able to see price, again, if we're able to see price come back down to around, I would say, I mean, again, this is going to be, if we're just going to be analyzing a specific area, then I really would like to see price come down to around this 168.8 level. That would be pretty cool. All right, I think that 168.8 level could be very, very attractive for sure. All right, 168.8. But what I will be doing, right, that's going to be an area I'm keeping my eyes on for sure, right? But what I am going to be doing, guys, I'm going to be seeing how price action plays around these levels of structure right here. Right, this little level of support, right, has a liquidity pool right there. You know, again, although I do want to see price come to that 168, you know, if we don't reach the 168, right, but then we rebound, I'm taking that rebound as a sign of strength, and we're probably going to continue, right? So I want to see 168 reach, but if it doesn't, it's cool. It's not a big deal, right? We'll be able to just go ahead and catch the rebound instead, right, on a closure back above 169. Right, so that's what we'll be seeing here for GJ, right? But yeah, I really think there is a good chance for us to continue going bullish. We just got to be patient, right? We got to be patient and let the market give us a chance to actually get in. I have no interest in getting in where price is currently at now. I really don't, right? Like all this, I'm good on this. But if we can go ahead and clear these lows, grab some liquidity, then I'll definitely, you know, be a lot more comfortable with, you know, catching that rebound, right? So we'll see what happens with that for sure. Let's see. If you get a payout, you already accomplished with 90%. Couldn't do. That's 100% right, Eric. And that's why I'm also willing to go ahead and match the payout, right? Because I do know it's actually very hard to do, right? Like, again, the payout, guys, is not an easy thing. But if you are able to get a payout, then, yeah, big kudos to you, right? That means you were very disciplined. You followed your rules. You followed the rules of the actual prop firm. And you were actually taking trading very, very seriously and treating it as a business, right? And that's what you have to do. If you're not treating it as a business, don't expect to get paid like a business. Point blank, period. Right? So yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see here for GJ, but that's what I want to see, guys. I need to see the sell off, then go ahead and go buy. All right, let's see what gold is doing. So gold is still chilling right now. We're gonna keep our eyes on this, guys, and see what the market does end up giving us for sure for this one. So yeah. We'll see what happens. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. No cap, Abel. This is something dope you made. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that, Michael. It's definitely me and the team for sure, right? We've been putting a lot of work into it. Right? We put a lot of work. We're putting a lot of work into the platform. I can't wait till we actually fully launch, right? Like what you guys are seeing right now on the platform is not even like the whole thing. Right, that's just like the bare bones, the foundation of it, right? So once we actually get everything up, all the tabs and all the groups and stuff that we're creating, y'all is never gonna leave that platform. And once we get the app, once we get the app, y'all never gonna leave that platform, right? So it's gonna be dope. Let's see. In the whole England situation with their prime minister, that definitely doesn't look good for the reputation. How Liz stayed for a little bit and left is very messy. A lot of things shifting, 100%. Right? There's a lot going over there, going on over there in the UK for sure. All right, they just brought on a whole new prime minister. All right, like literally within a week of the other one resigning. So that's going to be very interesting. That's definitely going to be something we have to monitor and keep our eyes on for sure, because that's going to influence the pound as a whole. All right, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that actually plays out. Let's see. You're cool as hell, Abel. I appreciate that, Ashton. Let's see. Wait, I missed that. Someone fill me in on Telegram group, please. I'm not sure what Telegram group you're talking about. Let's see. NZD CAD. I see what you're doing, Tammy. I see what I can't do NZD CAD neither, because NZD CAD and AUD CAD are probably very identical, right? Let's actually take a look at them real quick, all right? NZD CAD. How's this look on the? How's this look over here? That's NZD CAD. Let's go take a look at AUD CAD. Yeah, they're very similar. All right, so I'm not going to analyze NZD CAD neither, because if I analyze NZD CAD, that's pretty much going to tell you guys what I expect for AUD CAD, right? And I don't want to give you guys no type of clues or hints as to what I think is going to happen, because then y'all going to just try to copy me, right? And I could be wrong my damn self, right? So I'm not going to analyze NZD CAD neither, just because it is so identical to AUD CAD. It's going to be like a cousin. Right, so yeah, I apologize for that, but I'll analyze it after tomorrow. All right, after tomorrow, I got y'all. All right, let's see. Oil. Yeah, let's go take a look at oil. See what we got here for oil, right? So, oil is very interesting. I'm definitely very bullish on oil myself as well. I know the boy Skaggs has been very bullish on oil, and I'm with him. All right, I'm also very, very bullish on oil as well. Just because fundamentally it just makes sense, right? With everything that's been happening, guys, across the board, with the wars and the lack of supply and OPEC, you know, cutting supply, right? Like, it's just a lot of things happening, guys, from a fundamental perspective, not even technical, right? Technically, it does make sense too, but from a fundamental perspective, this thing just looks bullish, right? It's going to be bullish, and I think that we do have a very good chance for this thing to go bullish, right? So with that being said now, what has this thing been doing? Well, I mean, we haven't done nothing, guys, literally, I mean, all week, right? For an entire week, just been going sideways. But we are starting to get some type of signs of strength, right? We seen this little sell-off right here, got completely erased, and also broke structure. So is it a chance now for this market to actually rebound and go bullish? I think there is. All right, I think there is a chance. All right, so I'm very interested to see. All right, I think there's actually a good chance, guys, for, you know, something like this to happen. Let me actually go ahead and break this down a little bit. I think actually down here, right, I would like to see 83.7 hold, right, for oil. So yeah, if we can see price come down to around this 83.7 level, guys, I truly think that there is a good chance for us to rebound, right? Come down here, fill this wick right here. Right, and then from there, we actually start looking for some higher pricing, right? So around 83.8, 83.7, that would be a very, very good looking area, guys, to go ahead and go long on. All right, so that's what I would be looking for, you know, for oil, right? A play off of this 83.8 level. That looks very nice. Let's see what we got here. GBP CAD. Let's go take a look at pound CAD for y'all. All right, so family, we are 3 likes away from 100. Let's go ahead and smash 100 likes. There we go, only 1 like away from 100 now. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me and supporting me. It definitely means a lot. So if you have not liked the channel just yet, family, go ahead and smash the like button. And make sure to be subscribed as well, because we are back. All right, and by the way, family, right, just a heads up, I'm back on this channel for Asian session once again moving forward. All right, the past 2 weeks I wasn't live on this channel because I was live on the actual Profit Society channel. We do have 2 YouTube channels, guys, that I'm pretty much running, this one and the Profit Society one, right? So I haven't been on this channel live in about 2 weeks, give or take 2 weeks, right? But we are back, and I'm going to be remaining live on Asian session now on this channel, right? You know, for the Profit Society, we're going to do some recap videos and stuff like that, but we're not going to be doing as many live streams on the Profit Society channel because we're already doing live streams inside of the actual platform. All right, so That's gonna put me back on the Asian session with this channel. All right, so I love it. I love this channel. Right, actually, like, this is my baby. Right, so I'm glad that we're able to come back on here. So I will be live on this channel, guys, moving forward. Once again, during Asian session, same time, same place, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We will be here. Right, and it will be earlier. Right, I will be doing it at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time moving forward. Okay, so yeah, look forward to it, family. We back. We back. All right, so GBP CAD. Let's see what we got here in terms of GCAD. Let's see what we got here. Man, there's some old markups here. Look at this markup. All right, I wanted to see price come into that supply zone. Price came into the supply zone. Right, this is the supply zone. Came into the supply zone. Look at that, tap into it and just wallop. Interesting. All right, so what do we think can happen next, guys? Right, for GCAD. This is gonna be a little bit interesting, right? I'm actually more bearish GCAD than anything right now, right? I'm actually a fan of selling this in my yeah. Right? So and this is a little bit tougher, guys, because I see, like, right now we have been seeing bullish structure. Right? We have been experiencing bullish structure here. Right, we have been experiencing it, right? So I get it. You know, it's a little bit risky saying this, but I don't know. I think we're actually going to be bearish, right? And the big reason why I'm saying that is because, I mean, what have we been doing all year, right? All year, we have been selling off, right? And that's just because, again, the CAD is actually a very strong currency, right? I said this earlier too, guys. Like, the CAD is up there, right? It got some strength like the US dollar. Right, and that's, I mean, we could clearly see that because this thing has been selling off the entire year. And that just shows the strength of the CAD against the pound, right? The pound it's nowhere near as close to the CAD, right? At least overall. Like, recently we started to see some type of momentum shifts, but I'm not buying it, guys, right? I think that we actually do have a very good chance for this market to drop, right? So I'm going to be looking for some selling opportunities here. Here on GBP CAD, right? That's what I will be looking for sure. All right, and again, I could be wrong, and I try to say that so often, right? Because I just want to make sure you guys are aware that we are human, right? But if we could see price come back up, I think this 1.56 level, guys, is very, very attractive for a sell. Let me see. Yeah, that 1.56. Sheesh. Right, yeah, I do like this, right? I like this. I think that, man, if we are right, okay, let's just think hypothetically, right? I think that we could actually look for some selling pressure to come in from these areas. If we are right, okay, if we are correct, you got to understand how much of a move this is. Like, we're talking about big boy moves here, right? Like this is the type of move, family, that, like, can change the game. Okay, we're talking about a 36-to-1 risk to reward. Why am I being so optimistic about this? Well, again, the overall flow of this market, guys, has been bearish, right? The overall bias has been bearish, right? So yeah, we started to see a little bit of bullish momentum, right? But it didn't even break no type of major structure or anything like that. Like, all this bullish momentum didn't do anything. It didn't break no major levels of structure. So I'm still leaning towards the selling pressure. So if we are able to see a sell here, then yeah, we can target all the way back down to these lows. That's a 1-to-36 risk to reward. Insane, right? So yeah, I'm going to be watching this, right? I'm very comfortable risking 2% on a setup that has the potential to go for, something crazy, right? Like, if we're risking 2% and we actually hit for this whole 36-to-1, that's what? That's what, 72%, something like that? 72% gain? Something crazy, right? Something like, that's a play, guys, if we actually get an entry here and we're actually able to hold the entire thing, which is actually going to be, like, that's going to be a struggle in itself. Actually trying, not just getting the entry, but holding it all the way down. You got to have a high level of patience and discipline to do that. But if you are able to do it, that's a story to tell your friends. Like, yeah, man, I just caught a trade and I made 70% on one trade while only risking 2%. Wow. Right? Wow, right? So that's going to be a dope one. We'll see what happens with this one overall. Like I said, win or lose, I think it's a very good setup. So Yeah, I'm very comfortable with dealing with the outcome if the outcome goes, I mean, either way. All right, so we'll see what happens with that one. Let's see. The app's going to be fire, 100%. Did you look at oil, Abel, by chance? So we just look at oil for sure. Let's see. I'm loving AU where it's sitting at. Would love to see price run through the highs, grab liquidity, and close back below. All in CPI came out higher. Didn't do much. Dollar domination looks like it's back. Yeah. So for sure, ski. Where is my Aussie? Where is my Aussie? All right, let's go ahead and bring Aussie back up here. All right, so yeah, I mean, Aussie is very interesting. All right, the Australian dollar, guys, is very, very interesting for sure. Yeah, it really is very interesting though. Right, so I'm actually very interested in seeing something like this. Right, if we can go ahead and run these highs here, I would be very interested in looking for a selling opportunity right off of that, like all day long. Right, like if I see that for AU, shoo, I'm in there. Right, I'm in there. Right, go ahead and get into, you know, these levels of structure that we have here. Yeah, I think that would be a very interesting opportunity. Now, where can we really look for this market to go ahead and give us some plays from? Well, I would be interested in looking for some shorts around, yeah, I would say around here. All right, around this 0.645 level. I'm not sure if we are going to get up there, but that's where I would like to see price come to. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I would like to see. I like to see price come up to that level right there, guys. Right, that 0.645 level. You know, if we're able to see price make it to that 0.645, I think that there is going to be a very good opportunity, guys, for us to actually find some shorting pressure, some shorting opportunities here for AUD USD. Right, my stop loss is probably going to be above this wick, going to be right above this little mitigation zone too. So yeah, I like it. You know, it's not a bad play. You know, so it's gonna be dope. You know, if we can go ahead and run these highs at 0.643, come on, right? Run the highs, rebound. I think that would be a very good opportunity for sure. I think very, very good opportunity. Let's see. Can you look at US 30? Yeah, let's go take a look at Dirty 30. All right. So Dirty 30. Let's see what we did over the past 24 hours, right? Didn't do much. We actually had a lot of bullish momentum here. I think at this point, guys, there's a really, really good chance that, you know, Dirty 30 makes it all the way above this 32,000 level. I would be very interested in seeing it up to around the 32,300. Now, again, I am very much bearish, guys, all of these indices, right? So I'm bearish US 30. I'm bearish NAS. Like, I want to see these things continue to sell off, right? It's just a matter of where and when. I think there is a very good chance for price to really sell off around these levels. All right, so around that 32,300, I think that could be a very good play, right? But for now, we're not even close to that level, right? So for now, the short-term play will probably be looking for a buy setup. That will be the short term, right? Looking for continuations to these buys, all right? So seeing the market go ahead and spike down into here to send us higher, that's not a bad play. Right, that's not a bad opportunity. That's something that realistically could possibly play out tonight, going into tomorrow morning New York session, right? And during New York session, we might see that spike down, right? Only to go ahead and continually push us higher. So that's my blueprint. I do think that overall we're gonna experience a lot of selling pressure eventually come back in my opinion. So that's how I want to set up. Now, the one thing that we do have to just keep in mind, guys, for these indices, and this is something that we've been speaking about a lot too, you know, inside of the actual platform during the New York sessions, is the fact of the season, right? Seasonality, guys, is going to come into play now for a lot of these assets, right? A lot of these commodities, a lot of these currencies, right? A lot of these currency pairs, right? Seasonality is going to come into play, right? Especially for the indices, Now, why is that? Well, guys, we're going into a period in time where historically people spend money, right? We're going into holiday season. Christmas is coming up, right? So a lot, like the last quarter of the year, the fourth quarter, a ton of spending happens. So if we do start to see a lot of spending occurring because of the holiday season, because of the seasonality or the times that we're in right now, right? And we have Black Friday, right? Big shout out to you, Michael. Exactly right. We have Black Friday, right? The #1 day in the year for spending. I mean, what should we realistically expect for these indices to do? This is a good question, right? It might be a little bit of a trickier one, right? But if we do have, guys, Q4, which we know is going to be a heavy spending quarter, right? Should we expect these indices to go bullish or bearish off of that? That's the question I got for you guys right now. What do you guys think? Answer this in the chat. It's a good question. It's a question we need to talk about. All right, big shout out to all y'all that's been liking the video too. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the superstars, man. But yeah, guys, again, if we're going into a period in time where we know everybody is about to go broke for their family members, right, for the holidays, then yeah, guys, these indices are going to react in a very particular way. They're going to react bullish off of this, right? Strong, spending is going to bring some strength to the economy. Now, is it going to be short-lived? I believe so, right? But an end-of-the-year rally here for these indices is not something that I would be completely surprised about, right? An end-of-the-year rally is actually something that, again, we could potentially truly expect to occur, right? An end-of-the-year rally. We can expect that to occur, right? So we do have to keep that in mind, right? That's definitely something we have to be mindful of, right? Is there going to be an end-of-the-year rally? I believe so. But for right now, I still like the opportunity to go ahead and go short, right, until proven otherwise, right? So I still like the overall selling idea, guys, from up here, 32,300. But if we do end up running that, then at that point, I'm really going to start to lean towards, all right, maybe we are going to start to see higher pricing just for that end of the year rally. All right, so things like that, yeah, we got to keep our eyes on for sure. All right, so that's going to be interesting to see what we got there, guys, off of that. Let's see. Do you trade supply and demand? I do trade supply and demand. I love supply and demand. I truly feel like supply and demand is the game changer, right? I mean, these markets, guys, are moving based off supply and demand. Like, literally, right? So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Gold. What's gold doing? Is gold finally getting into... Okay, we're starting to see it push up. Okay, gold. Okay. Now, let's see. Again, guys, what do I want to see here for gold? I want to see price run these highs, which it looks like we're about to do right now. But then I will also like to see how we react and if we're able to rebound. Right, again, I'm not taking the trade initially off of just that, right? Okay, so we are now running these highs. Perfect. So now is where we got to be patient, right? Now is where we actually just analyze the market. We start to compare the momentum behind these pushes, right? And then we go ahead and take a trade, right? And make a decision off of that, right? So let's go ahead and see what we got here, guys. We're just going to keep our eyes on this pair right here on gold to see how the market does continue to react to this, and we'll see what happens, right? If there's an opportunity for us to get involved, shoot, we taking that, right? But if not, then it's cool. We'll be on the sidelines. Yeah, but let's see, right? Let's see what the market does. We are now starting to, we spiked above this level, right? This level right here, this level of structure, where we are starting to see price pretty much wick up into that area and start to give us this rejection. That is exactly what I want to see. But again, we're not going to rush into it, guys. We're going to let this entire 5-minute candle close, and then we'll see what the market does from there. All right, let's see a sell stop on GBP USD for level 1.14. We'll come back to gold. Right now that we know it's up in that level, we'll come back before the 5-minute ends. But let's go back to GU, a sell stop at 1.14. Let's see, 1.14. I don't think if I were to do a sell stop, I wouldn't do it that late, right? Because I mean that 1.14 is going right back into a level of structure. All right, look at this, 1.14. And like that lines up back like with all this structure support, right? So I wouldn't put the sell limit right there. You're trying to sell right at a level of structure. Woo. Excuse me. Right, you're trying to sell right at a level of structure, and I don't know if that's gonna play out how you would want it to. Right, so I wouldn't put it right there. If anything, yeah, I wouldn't like any of these, to be honest with you. I don't like any of these, to be honest with you. Right, I don't, yeah, I don't like, and I don't even do pending orders like that. Right, but I'm not a fan of it. But again, if you see a logical reason for you to have that there, then by all means, don't let me stop you, from doing what you do, like at all, right? Do not let me stop you from doing what you do, right? Let's see. End of the year, market starts slowing down and making truncated moves. Be sure to take some profits. 100%, Michael. And that's a great point about that taking profit as well. I mean, what do you think, the big boys are doing? Right? End of the year rally could just start to position themselves to start to take profit. Right? I mean, a lot of profit taking has already been occurring. Right? So, yeah, they could actually take this time to actually try to prop up the markets, the indices overall, the stock market up a little bit higher just before the end of the year. And then they go ahead and take the floor out of the bottom from everybody, right? That would be crazy. Let's see. Any tips for understanding market structure on higher time frame and lower time frame? It gets so noisy, right? So that's a good question. I mean, the biggest thing for me personally is just understanding where we're at, right? Like, we really do got to just be aware, guys, of what's actually happening. Like, what is price actually doing? All right, on each time frame, right? Understand, guys, that these time frames is just a tool, right? It's an indicator, right? It's a tool that we use to try to help us figure out what the market is going to do, right? It's no different than the tools that we use, like support and resistance, supply and demand, all that good stuff. Like, no different at all, right? Same as that concept. But overall, when it comes to analyzing higher time from the lower time frame, just understand where you're at, right? One thing that you could do is actually write it down on your screen, right? Like daily, what are you? Bullish, right? 4 hour, right? What are you? Right? Bullish. Okay, 1 hour, what are you? Just say we could be short-term bearish, right? 15-minute, what are you? All right, bearish. Right, like if you actually start and write it down like this, then at least when you do start to get to the lower time frames, you are already aware of what these bigger time frames are telling you. Right, like if I go to the 1 hour and the 15-minute time frame and then it's bearish, but I understand that the bigger pictures are bullish, then maybe I want to just wait and align myself with the bullish play. Right, look for the bullish opportunity because that's what the bigger time frames are telling me. Right, the higher the time frame, guys, the more significant the data is, the more significant it is to us. All right, so that's what I like to do. All right, so let's see what else we got here, guys, in terms of gold. We do got our first 5-minute candle that actually just closed. All right, now let's see how we actually rebound right here. Again, if we actually look at what, like this push up right here, guys, as we can see, it actually broke structure, right? But if we look at it, what is the volume behind this push, right? I mean, we can even bring up actual volume. Right, and let's look at this, right? Actually compare what the market is doing right here with this push up, right? And compare it to the actual volume, right? There's no volume behind this push. No volume behind this push, right? In fact, we had more volume over here, right, on this previous high, more volume on the previous high than we just had here, right? So this is telling me that momentum is definitely not there, right? There's not as much bullish momentum here, guys, for gold. Right, so we're going to continue to monitor this. We're going to see how the market gives us because I do think that there's going to be a nice opportunity, guys, for us to short coming up soon. Right, so we're going to keep on watching this, be very, very patient with this, and yeah, I think that we could get an opportunity soon. Right, maybe even something like this, right, depending on how this plays. So we'll see. Right, we'll see. Price is pushing up a little bit more. As long as we continue to push up, guys, into this level of structure up here, right, with low volume, I think that we're really going to be really good for some shorts, right? So we're going to keep our eyes on this, like I said, and see what the market does give us. My guess is that we're probably going to start to see some support, or not some support, but some resistance at the 1655 level, 1655.5. So yeah, we're going to keep it right here, guys, on this time frame, and we're going to analyze this together, right? We're going to see what the market does together for sure with gold. Let's see what we got here. So basically just get an overall idea, right? Yeah, it's getting an overall idea, but also understanding what you're looking for. All right, that's big, all right? Because you can get an overall general idea of what the market could do, but what is your actual play? Like what is your play? Like, are you expecting a pullback first? Are you expecting just a straight continuation? All right, because a pullback on the higher time frame can actually look like a trend continuation on the smaller ones, right? So yeah, analyzing the overall objective is crucial. Right, very important. Right, analyzing the overall objective is needed, but also making sure you understand exactly what to expect and what to look for is also crucial as well. Right, for sure. Right, so again, we're gonna see what happens here, guys. If we don't see what I want to see, right, if we don't get like the reaction, that we're not taking this trade, by the way. Right, again, remember what I said. Right, we're gonna come here. We're actually gonna read price action. Right, we're going to read price action to see exactly what candlesticks are doing. Right, the reason why I'm even looking for this opportunity is because I really just wanted to see price come back down, right, and go ahead and test back down to the 1645. Right, that's what I wanted to see. Right, I wanted to see price roll over and come down to the 1645. Right, which is why I'm even considering looking for these shorts, was because I just wanted to see price come down here. Bow. Right, so we're going to see, like I said, we're only going to take the trade, guys, if it makes sense, right, if we actually get what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to see what happens here. Right, we are starting to see price come up even a little bit higher. We got about a minute and a half left on this 5-minute candle. Let's go ahead and see how the 15 minutes looking. Nothing too crazy. 1 hour, 30-minute. Yeah, I think that there's a good chance for us to sell from these levels, guys. All right, I really do think there's a good chance. All right, so we're going to see how these 5-minute candles end up closing, though, and I'll let you know what we're about to do. Let's see the ABC pattern back up first. It is very possible, right? Again, I could be completely wrong, and that's why we're sitting on our hands for this, right? We're not jumping in until we actually get that trigger, right? Like I got a lot of my trade filters. Now I need that trigger. Right now, that's what I'm waiting for, is that trigger. Let's see. I have been long gold since 1644 and taking it to 1670. Hey, don't let me get you out of it. All right, if you're already in it, then by all means continue riding it out. For sure. Let's see. Do you think 1.792 is a solid sell zone for a pound Aussie? Let's go ahead and check pound Aussie. Are you a scalper or a swing trader, right? So normally I used to be mainly swings, right? Like I was very comfortable with, taking trades and holding them for however long I needed to hold them. But lately I definitely been doing a lot more intraday setups, a lot more intraday trading more than anything. Just because I've been trading New York session a lot lately, just with the intentions of, catching that initial big move and then getting out. All right, but I do take what the market gives me overall. Right, so my answer is I'm the type of trader that's going to take what the market gives me, right? If I can only get a scalp out of it, I'm taking a scalp. If I could take an intraday setup, I'm taking the intraday, But if I could find a nice swing trade opportunity, then I'm definitely holding that as well, right? I'm taking what the market gives me. All right, do you think 1.792 is a solid sell zone? 1.7902, 1.7902. Oh, okay, that's below these levels. Okay. I think that just looking at pound Aussie, I'm bearish. All right. I think, and again, I could be wrong, right? But I think that we actually do see this thing, guys, roll over and go lower and go bearish. Right. I actually would love to see if we can actually go ahead and start to fill this gap that we have down here. Right, I think there's a good chance for that. So that's what I will be looking for. I will be looking for some selling pressure. So yeah, around that 7.9, what'd you say, 7.902? Yeah, I do think we will eventually, close the rest of this wick and then continue going lower. So I would be looking for some shorts here, right? I think that this is more likely to go ahead and sell off for sure, right? So that's what I'll be looking for pound Aussie. I'm really not going to be too confident until we're actually able to go ahead and break below this level right here. All right, like if we're able to go ahead and really close below this level right here, around this 1.789 level, 1.79. If we can get a nice closure below that 1.79, then yeah, that can really be a nice opportunity to go ahead and go short. All right, so that's what I'll be looking at. A break and close below that 1.79, I would be liking to go short. Let's see what else we got here. Isn't gold also in a fair value gap, making it have more confluence to sell? Right, let's go back to gold. I mean, it is, right? We do have this gap right here that was technically left behind. We do have some price inefficiency overall. But I do like this, guys. Now, again, just keep in mind, right? I am long-term bearish gold. Right? I am long-term bearish gold. Why? Because we have been bearish gold. Sentiment in the market has us bearish gold. Fundamentals in the market has us bearish gold. All right, gold has been selling off ever since we started raising rates. So as long as we have a hawkish Fed, then we have to expect gold to continue to sell off, because that's exactly what has been that's what we've been seeing. Right? So overall, I am long-term bearish gold. Just keep that in mind. Right? But for right now, we have been seeing some bullish momentum coming in. Okay? Now, I'm very interested in looking for this short, because I think there's a good chance we can at least just come back down to here. Right? Around the 1645. Now, what happens around the 1645 is really going to tell us what we should be doing next, in my opinion. Right? Because if we actually come back down to this, 1645, and we actually end up holding, then we might actually see higher pricing. Like we really could be. Right? But if we actually run that and we continue dropping, then we're probably going to go back into that overall bearish trend that we've been in. Right? But overall, guys, let's just keep on waiting. Right? Again, we're not in gold. We're not in gold just yet. Like I told you guys, we're going to be watching this. We're going to be monitoring it, seeing what the market gives us. Overall, we have not really gotten what I want to see just yet. We are now in that area of interest. Right? We're in that area of interest where we can now start to look for some bearish opportunities, some selling pressures. Right? But I really want to see now, some type of a rebound, right? A sell back below, right, off of this level. I want to see some type of rejection from this level here based off candlesticks. All right, so I'm very interested in this short. I do like this short for sure, All right, so we're just going to be patient, though, and see what the market gives us. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Realistically, we'll probably come, somewhere up in here. We'll see what the market gives us. Let's see. Can you check USD CAD? Can you look at Aussie dollar? Yeah, I got you guys. These are all ones that we already did talk about, but I don't mind talking about it again. All right, so USD CAD, guys, is again very interesting. This one's going to be interesting just because what we have on the radar for tomorrow. We do have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. They are expecting to raise rates 75 basis points. So just because of that alone, I think we are going to experience, guys, lower pricing here for USD CAD. Even if we do spike up overnight, I think by the morning time, and again, I could be wrong, right? I'm only human. But by the morning time, I think that we can actually see lower pricing just because I believe since they are planning on raising rates, when we do see a central bank raise rates, that typically brings strength for the actual currency, right? So the Bank of Canada raising rates is typically going to strengthen the CAD, right? The Canadian dollar. So because of that, that's why I believe there's a good chance, guys, for us to actually go ahead and sell off, right? Based off the release. So that's what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for opportunities to go ahead and go short here, guys, on USD CAD. And just playing that opportunity and seeing what we can get from that. If for whatever reason we actually bounce back up during the middle of the night and we actually start trade higher during tomorrow morning, I'm definitely going to be looking for that short for sure. All right, I'm definitely going to be looking for that. So that's how I'm positioning myself for USD CAD, guys. If I am looking for anything, I'm definitely going to be looking for some bearish plays for that. AUD USD, again, this is what I was looking for AUD USD. I am ultimately still bearish this pair. We have been bearish the entire year. So I do think that we still have some more long-term opportunities to go bearish. I'm just not looking for sells until we actually get up into this 0.645, right? So for right now, from an intraday perspective, you know, if price pulls back, there is a good chance to buy it up, right? There is a good chance to buy it up, right? If price pulls back, then yeah, there could be an opportunity to go ahead and buy this thing up, right? But I'm really going to be looking for that overall selling opportunity to eventually sell it down, right? But here are some plays for you guys for AUD. You know, look to buy it up to then eventually look to sell it down. And again, that's just my opinion overall, guys, as to what I would be looking at from a technical perspective, but also just keep it in mind, guys, from a fundamental and sentimental perspective, exactly what I understand. All right, let's see what books are good to learn fundamentals. That's actually a good question, right? So I haven't used any books personally. I just like to actually watch certain analysts. I watch a lot of Bloomberg TV, Fox News Business, CNN Business, right? A lot of these different business channels and business networks. Just going there and actually listening to the analysts will actually do a lot for you, right? But not just that, you know, there's actually a bunch of YouTube channels on here as well, guys, that are more so around the financial markets as a whole. They're not Forex channels, but they are around the economy and the financial markets as a whole. And just listening to them also gives us a lot of insight, guys. So it's more of a you just finding, you know, experts in the field and just learning and picking up, you know, what they say and how they interpret the markets, right? So that's pretty much the best way to do it. I personally don't know of any books from a fundamental perspective, but that could be something that I'll work on in the future. Right, I come out with my own fundamental book. That would be pretty dope. All right, but yeah, this AUD does look very juicy, guys. I think there's a good chance for that. Let's see. How about NAS? Yeah, so again, similar thing with NAS, guys. I'm very much bearish NAS. I'm actually interested to see how the market does end up playing around these levels that we're about to come up into. Again, I'm not gonna trade this though, like at all. Right, I'm not gonna trade this though, guys, until New York session, right? But I would not be surprised if, you know, we see NAS come up into this level of structure and we do end up seeing this thing roll over back to the downside. Like, I would not be surprised at all, right? But overall, like I said, I'm not gonna trade this, right? I only trade the indices, guys, during New York session. So we'll see how this is playing out during New York session in the morning when I wake up, right? And if it's up in these areas, I'll take it. If it's not, if it's even further, then we'll analyze the markets and see what's going on from there, right? But overall, yeah, I do think that we are going to see lower pricing here, guys, for NAS, in my opinion. Right, we got Big Bert with the big 50. Let's go, Bert. I appreciate you, my brother. Right, thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel. It definitely means a lot. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, bro, any pairs that you want to analyze, you know that you get priority, you get dibs, you know, and I appreciate you, right? You've been showing love since day one, and I look forward to continue to providing you with massive value. You know what we gotta do, Bert? We actually gotta set up a day, right, for all of us Baltimore Ravens fans. Shout out to the Baltimore Ravens, right? #1 team in football. I don't care what you say or how you feel, right? But we got to set up a date, man. We got to go over there and go catch some Ravens games, right? Shout out to all my Baltimore fans and all my Baltimore familia in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much, man. Let's get it. Right? But yeah, Bert, it's definitely much appreciated, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Enjoy the Starbucks. Nah, that means a lot. Shoot, I'm going to tell Wifey that. Because Wifey the one that's going to really be appreciative of you. All right, so, all right, let's go back and see what gold is doing. Let's see what gold is doing. Has gold done anything else? Not really. See, we're just playing up at these levels now, guys. And again, this is the areas where I would really start to watch price, right? If we can get this engulfing, right? If we can get this engulfing, all right, I think there is a very good chance, right? Again, I want to see price now rebound, right? Remember when I say about the rebound? Like, now that we actually came in, we started to break levels of structure. You know, we're starting to run some highs. I want to see the rebound, right? If we get the rebound, then I'll be going short. If we don't get the rebound, then I'm not in this trade. All right, I want to see price now come back below this 1655 level, right? If we can come back below 1655, then yeah, you know, that would be a trigger for me to go ahead and jump in for the sell. All right, so we're going to see what happens here, right? If we can get back below the 1655, you know, I'll be comfortable selling, risking around 1%, and then going to sleep and dealing with the consequences in the morning, right? Whether it's a win or lose, who cares? Right? That's one thing we got to be very, very comfortable with, family. Do not focus on the results, right? And I get it, it's easier said than done, but your job as a trader is not to focus on the outcome. That's not your job. Your job as a trader is to set up the opportunity, manage your risk correctly, okay? Preserve your capital in every way possible, and that's it. We don't control the outcome. So we can't allow our emotions to go haywire neither off of something that we don't have control over. So for me, I take this trade, family, whether I win or lose, I could care less. Why? Because in the way my strategy works, this is a good setup if we get what we're looking for. Really good opportunity, right? It's something that, again, I would risk 1% on. That's all I could do is set up the opportunity, take the trade when it actually approaches, take the trade when the triggers actually show, and that's it. Whatever happens after that, I don't care. It's out of my control. So whether I win or lose in the morning, it is what it is. I'm going to shark it up. I'm going to write it in my journal, and that's it. And I'll go ahead and find the next opportunity. That's how you really do it, family. All right? Yeah, so let's see how this ends up closing. Again, patience is crucial here. We really do want to start to see selling volume pick up. Right now, we're not really seeing no selling volume right here. But if we can start to see selling volume start to pick up, guys, and again, that would really just line up with what I'm looking at, right? If we can start to see some real selling volume start to pick up, right? Or if we're analyzing, you know, the actual volume indicator, yes, selling volume would be key. If we're looking at the MACD, you know, this going from blue into that black territory can also show that selling volume is starting to pick up as well. All right, so again, it's a combination of things, right? We want to see the candlesticks, but we also want to see the volume as well pick up. All right, right now we are starting to get that engulfing, but we want to see how this thing actually ends up closing. Let's see, Nevermore, quote the Ravens. Let's see, love you, Abe. Eagles, Super Bowl bound. I mean, shout out to them Eagles, man. Shout out to them Eagles for sure. All right, I don't care for the Eagles. They're not in our division, so I don't care. Shout out to the Eagles, right? As long as y'all are not as long as you're not in the Ravens division, I rock with you, right? You're cool. I hope your team does make it however far, right? But for those y'all that's in the Ravens division, like the bullcrap Steelers and the Browns and the Bengals, we not friends. We not friends, right? Nah, it's all love. I appreciate all y'all, man, for real. All right, let's see. Hey, bro, ¿cómo estás? Question, why does gold and BTC move together sometimes and sometimes not? That's a good question. And that's honestly a question that, again, is going to be very, very tough to answer because there could be a bunch of combination of things, right? If you really look at cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, right, I mean, even Bitcoin itself is moving very identical to what the S&P is doing, right? The S&P 500, you know, very, very identical, okay? All right, so before I even continue with that, family, let's take a look at this gold again. So we did actually get that engulfing right on that level, right on that level. If we can get a nice little follow through, I think that would be pretty cool. But overall, guys, we are starting to get what I'm looking for, right? I do want to see, you know, price continue now at these levels right here, all right? I think that would be very, very attractive for us for sure. Let me get my thing up. I don't want to make sure. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second, familia. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Just over here setting up my charts on my phone over here. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, guys. Again, we did get that engulfing, but I really want to see price come in, like really go lower. All right, so again, we got the engulfing, but we didn't get no selling pressure, right? We didn't get no added volume into this. right? And that's concerning, right? Because again, when we're trying to identify, guys, these liquidity grabs and these sweeps of liquidity, excuse me, sheesh, when we're trying to identify these things, right, we really want to see the volume, bearish volume, start to pick up, right? Right now, we're not seeing it. But overall, guys, I still am very, very interested in this short, right? So I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on this overall, seeing what the market does give us. You know, maybe again, I know some of you guys probably already took it. Me personally, I'm still on the sidelines. I want to see a little bit more, you know, of some evidence. You know, if we're able to get that, then that'll be dope. But overall, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on monitoring this and see what the market does give us. You know, I really do think that we are going to end up being lower. I think we're going to really start to see some selling pressure come in. So that's what I'm going to be lining up for overall. Right. But this 5-minute engulfing, guys, is very juicy. Right. I like it. It does look very nice. And I think that there is a good chance for this thing to actually start rolling over. All right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Let's see. So, to answer that question, why does gold and BTC move together sometimes? Right. Again, that's a good question. Right. And again, I really don't have like an actual answer for that, right? Because I really don't know. One thing that I do know is that these cryptos are pretty much just being treated similar to the stocks, right? Where it's being considered as a risk-off type of asset, where it's actually considered a risk-on asset. I mean, not a risk-off, right? It's actually considered a risk-on asset, and it's moving negative based off interest rates going higher. Right, so the only thing that I could see that's pretty much comparing them is the fact that they're reacting towards, you know, monetary policy from these central banks. Right, what these central banks are doing, guys, is really dictating what these assets are going to do. Right, so that's why we've seen stock market drop. It's because interest rates been going up. That's why we've been seeing gold dropping, right, cryptos dropping, right, commodities dropping. Right, we've been seeing all these things dropping. It's simply just a reaction to interest rates going up. Right, so again, a lot of these central banks, guys, are definitely being influenced by monetary policy as a whole, and that could be the thing that's driving, you know, cryptocurrencies for sure. Right, so that's my guess. Again, I could be wrong, right, but that is a very good, you know, question, right, because it does happen where they do move at similar times, but then they also sometimes don't. Let's see. I'm a Steeler fan. Love you as a minute, but let's go Steelers. Listen, man, I do love all my Steelers fans too, man. I appreciate y'all. I got love for everybody, right? Even if we are in the same division. You never know, man. We might be able to go catch a division game together, right? All of us, right? Imagine all of us as a group going to the next Baltimore Ravens and Steeler game, right? And we all sitting together. That'll be pretty vibey, right? Even though it's going to be crazy shit talking back and forth, it's all love. You know, we're all one big family, right? So you never know. That's something that we could probably do together too, right? One thing about me, family, is I actually want to be in the field with y'all, right? I'm not one of these mentors that strictly stay behind the screen, right? Like, I'm actually known for traveling, right? Like, I've done numerous events live, like in front of thousands of people, and events in front of 5 people, right? You know, so I actually want to be in the field. I want to interact with y'all and see what y'all's about. All right, so guys, gold right here, and again, this is why I didn't jump in just yet. Still just seeing what the market is doing. Overall, I want to see some type of a reaction around these levels. If we can get that reaction back below, again, I said I want to see below 1655, right? If we can get back below 1655, then that's really, really what I'm looking for, right? So we're going to see what happens here. Again, I'm going to be patient, still sitting on my hands overall. And if we can get that push below, then we'll take it. If not, then, you know, it is what it is. The market can go ahead and fly to the moon. Let's see. Who Dey? TJ, Cincinnati Bengals fan. Okay, shout out to the Bengals, man. Appreciate y'all too. Let's see. Gold probably going to be for a couple hours before price action gives you your trigger. Yeah, it probably is. And that's why I'm being patient. You know, again, there's no rush here. No rush, no foul either way. Let's see. That would be dope. Division games are fun. 100%. Shoot, come to Chicago and we'll go catch a Bears game. I'm with that. You know what's crazy? One of my goals, and this is one of my goals, right? One of my goals is to eventually go to every single NFL stadium and catch a game. That would be fire, right? That would be dope. Actually, I want to go to like every professional sporting game out there, right? From NFL to NBA, even to boring ass MLB, baseball. I used to be the biggest baseball fan, but then it got just way too boring for me. But I do want to go to all these stadiums, right? I want to go to every football stadium, every basketball stadium or arena. I want to go to every baseball stadium. I feel like that would just be dope, right? So eventually, I will be in Chicago, catching a Bears game, hopefully against the Ravens, right? That would be pretty cool. Do you ever trade Bitcoin futures? I do not. All right, I do not. I have never traded futures, period. All right, which is kind of crazy you brought that up, because actually yesterday I was actually watching a video on futures, because it's something that I was actually considering getting into. Right, I heard futures has a lot of upside, for sure, but I have not done so just yet. Right, so if you have any questions on futures, I'm not the guy to ask. All right, just being honest. Are you still in the NC area, right? So I am still out here in North Carolina, all right? Shout out to all my North Carolinians, right? I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all adopted me 4 or 5 years ago. You guys adopted me, right? So, yeah, shout out to y'all. Bless you, Abel. I appreciate y'all. Right, so, again, for the most part, guys, you know, we're just going to be watching to see what this ends up doing. Again, the only way I'm getting in this, just so that we are fully clear, right, is I want to see price break below this level, right? I want to see the 1655 level. I want to see price go ahead and close below that level. If we can get a close on 1655, right, close below, then I will be looking for selling pressure to come back in. Okay, 100% I will. All right, I definitely will. All right, let's see. Come to Cali. We can go to Snoop concert. That'll be a vibe. Shoot, I haven't been to Cali in a little while. All right, so yeah, that'll be a vibe. I think I went to Cali. Last time I went to Cali was last year, and we had an absolute blast. Right. Crazy thing is, over the past few years, guys, over the past 2-3 years, like I've been everywhere. All right, I literally went throughout this entire country. I went to different countries, and it was all to teach, right? To teach Forex, literally teach how to trade. Right, but a lot of these times that I've been flying and all these flights and all these trips that I took over the past 2-3 years, like I never actually had a real vacation until recently. All right, I traveled to, again, all over the country, to different countries, but all those were business trips, right? All those were literally because I had to go work, I had to go teach, I had to go throw an event, right? So this time around, now that I'm not quote unquote tied to a company, right, now it's gonna be a lot more fun, right? Because it's not going to be just businessy, right? It's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more vacationy, a lot more friendly, and I'm excited for that, right? But yeah, you know, 2023, guys, I plan on touring, right? I plan on going on tour. I plan on pulling up to your city, teaching you how to trade in real life, and it's going to be dope, right? It's really going to be to the people inside the Profit Society, right? So if you're inside the Profit Society right now, you know, make sure to go ahead and get all of your people in your area together, right? Everybody that's in Chicago, I know Chicago's deep. All right, get ready. All right, 2023, we coming to Chicago. All right, the whole team, the whole Profit Society team. We're going to be throwing an event. And, yeah, we're going to be putting on, guys. We're going to be literally going across the entire country. And then we're going country to country, too. So that's going to be dope. All right, that's going to be something I'm excited for. Let's see, South Carolina in the building. Shout out to Ivante. What's up? Let's see, Snoop, my cousin. So it's good. Let's go, right? I mean, if that's your family, then that's even better. If he's your family, then he's my family, because you my family, right? You my cousin. Let's go, Big Ed. What's good, cousin? Right? Let's see. No entiendo es una operación en sell. Well, right now, Abram, we're not in a sell. We're just watching. All right? I want to see price go ahead and sell. I want to see this break below anything, right? 1655 break, and then I'll go ahead and sell. If we don't get that, then I don't care for this trade, right? I'm not in it anyways, right? But we want to see the sell and then the continue. Hopefully you understood that. Let's see. Next event going to be in Bakersfield. Yeah, that's going to be a vibe for sure. Do you use the commitment of traders report to assess sentiment? So yeah, I do actually, right? The COT report is something that I actually broke down pretty well too to my bootcamp students, you know, because I actually do have a 5-day ProTrader Bootcamp series, a video series, guys, for anybody that's interested in learning how I trade. You know, I actually do have a bootcamp, right? A 5-day video series that pretty much goes in depth with how I trade, right? Like I'm talking about in depth, right? Each day is a specific topic that is important to trading, all right? With day number 1 all about mindset, day number 2 all about risk management, day number 3 all about fundamental and sentimental analysis, day number 4 about technicals, day number 5 about pretty much putting it all together, right? So if that's something that you're interested in, that which also comes with access to the private community, right? Then go ahead and check the link in the bio, all right? Go ahead and join that, grab that bootcamp, and you know, purchase it, and then, you know, message me immediately, and I'll get you added into the private chat, right? And then we go from there, right? And you learn exactly how I trade, right? But yeah, you know, in that, you know, I say all that to say on day number 3, we actually do go in depth and talk about, you know, the COT reports, right? We can actually go ahead and bring it up really, really quickly, right, to see what the COT reports we're looking at for this past week. All right, because this is definitely something, guys, that can give you guys a lot of insight as to what sentiment is from the big boys, right? You know, so that's definitely something I recommend you guys to start to look into, right? But this right here, guys, is what we call a COT report, a commitment of traders report. Pretty much tells us how traders are actually positioning themselves from non-commercial, commercial, and also non-reportable positions. So non-commercial, guys, is going to be our smart money, our big boys, our hedge funds, and things like that. Commercial is going to be our big commercial businesses and institutions that have to, you know, be in the Forex market just to exchange for goods, whatever the case may be. And then our non-reportable is going to be us retail traders, right? So that's pretty much what these are: non-commercial, commercial, non-reportables. The non-commercial is definitely going to be the hedge funds, the big boy, the smart money. So we want to be looking at that. Now, when it comes to reading something like this, guys, right, there is going to be a specific asset that is going to be measured, all right? So this whole thing right here that's highlighted is telling us the commitment of traders report on butter, okay? And it's going to be the same thing for a lot of these other things. We have milk right here, right? Non-fat dry milk, right? So on and so forth. And if you keep on going lower and lower and lower, you'll eventually get to the actual currencies, right? So now we have the Canadian dollar, and we'll just look at the CAD just so you guys can give an insight as to how this works. Again, I pay attention, guys, to the non-commercial, right? I want to see what the smart money is doing. So let's look at the smart money and how they're positioning themselves for the Canadian dollar. All right, so we have long, short positions in the spread. So we actually have 35,000 long orders here for the CAD, right? Comparing that to 55,000 short orders. So just using this report right here, guys, right? Again, which this is as of the 18th, so as of last week, right? Non-commercials are actually short the CAD, which is actually pretty interesting. All right, because right now, majority of them are actually shorting CAD, which could lead to some CAD weakness. Right now, I'm actually interested to see. Let's go look at USD CAD and see what the market has actually done last week. Right, to see what or why or how this market interpreted that. All right, so typically, if we are seeing an overwhelming number of shortened positions, then USD CAD should go bullish, right? That's typically how we want to interpret that. But overall, we have not really seen that happen just yet. But that just means it could be positioning, right? But that's pretty much how you actually read this, guys, right? You look at what the actual currency is, you look at the non-commercials, and then you see what is more dominant, right? Are they more leaning towards short positions or more long positions? And that can give you some insight as to what, you know, the non-commercials, aka the hedge funds, are possibly going to be doing. All right, so again, I do go a little bit more in depth, guys, on reading that inside of the boot camp. So if you guys are not a part of that, definitely go ahead and get yourself inside of the boot camp. Grab that boot camp. Link is in the bio. And yeah, you know, go ahead and enjoy all the value you're going to get from that. It's going to be next level. All right, let's see what else we got here. Profit Society Trading Boot Camp plus a weekend of fun, right? Yeah, that's the plan. We outside, yeah, Reap. Right, we definitely outside. Shout out to my guy Reap Euro, Reap Euro, the boy, the man. He's definitely been on tour with me in the past, right? I think we went. He went to a few cities with me, right? Actually, not last year, 2 years ago, I actually did a 30-day tour, all right, where I was literally, guys, went to like 30 different cities across the entire country, and yeah, my boy Reap Euro was at a few of the stops, right? So big shout out to my brother for sure. We definitely back outside. Let's see. I called dibs on Abel's first live boot camp in Chicago. Well, Christian, bro, you probably gonna be running it with me, all right? Hosting it with me. So, yeah, it's gonna be lit, right? It's gonna be lit. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. What we do, you only look at COT reports once a week or before every trade? I always ask myself that question, right? So I mean, you only need to look at it once a week, right? So it comes out literally every Friday, right? So whatever you see that Friday when it comes out as is going to be the same exact way every single day, right? So you don't need to watch it every single day. It's not like it changes, you know. But yeah, at the end of the week, you can definitely see just to see how the smart money position themselves, and then try to align yourself with that for sure. Let's see. Can you look at? Yeah, I mean, we've been looking at AUD USD. We'll take another look at it. But this is what I'm looking at for AUD USD, guys. My outlook right here. So we'll see what's up with that. Let's see. All right, so let's go back to gold. What is gold doing? All right, so gold is, I mean, it's still playing at this area. right? Are we going to be able to actually rebound and come back below 1655? I mean, it's very possible. Very possible. Let's see. Right, again, guys, if we can really start to see this thing break below and selling volume start to pick up, stay woke. Stay woke. That's what we're talking about. But we'll see what happens. That's the only way I'm getting in. That is the only way I'm getting in, right? If we actually break below and then we do something like that. Can you define smart money, right? That's actually a very good question, right? Because depending on who you ask, it's probably going to be different, right? But smart money to me is just pretty much categorizing, the big boys in the market, the hedge funds, the big institutions, the central banks, right? Any entity that has the ability to move price because they're trading with such a large amount of capital, that is smart money, right? The big boys, right? The ones that are actually moving price, right? So that's what I consider smart money. Let's see. Let's watch gold. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's see what gold decides to do for us. Let's see what gold decides to do for us. Let's see. If we can break back below, rebound, I'm selling. All right. I want to make myself clear. If we can sell below, like really run these lows right here, like break below the 1655.4, rebound, I am selling. Okay. That is what I want to see. And I really want to see added selling pressure too, right? That selling pressure and volume is really gonna play a big part as well, right? But overall, I like it. Selling. All right. So let's see what happens. We'll keep our eyes on this one, guys, for sure, and see what the market does do. See what the market gives us. Let's see. So smart money is more fundamental than sentimental, right? Again, that's a good question, right? So smart money, and the reason why it's a good question, right? Because there's a lot of confusion around smart money, right? If you ask me what smart money is, it's going to be different than what 90% of these traders on this platform are going to talk about, right? Most traders on here, when they talk about smart money, they think about smart money concepts. They thinking about, all the technical aspects of smart money concepts, right? Whereas for me, I'm looking at smart money concepts, guys, as definitely more of a fundamental thing, all right? So to answer your question, I believe smart money is definitely more of a fundamental thing. But if you ask everybody on YouTube, they're going to say smart money is that technical thing, right? Where they're going to talking about liquidity pools, imbalances, fair value gaps, and mitigations, and all that good stuff. Again, for me, smart money is fundamental, right? How is the big boys position themselves based off the data, right? The big institutions, guys, the smart money is making decisions based off the data, right? That's it. The fundamentals, all right? So that's how I interpret it. Let's see. Anyone who can influence price. Pelosi. That's hilarious, right? I'm talking about influence price because of how much money they have in it, right? How much capital they have access to. But it is dumb funny, though. Let's see. What does the silver badge mean, right? So that means that you have been subscribed to, or not subscribed, but you have been a member of my YouTube channel for, I believe, 2 to 3 months now, right? So big shout out to you, right? Shout out to everybody with these silver badges. All right, so shh. Don't start being loud, mama. Right, but besides that, family, you know what time it is. It is time for me to go ahead and get up out of here. Unfortunately, I do got a daughter right here that is telling me to get off, right? So I got to go ahead and get her to bed and things like that, guys. But we have been on now for, 2.5 hours now. Almost 2.5 hours. Right, so I appreciate you guys. Again, we will be live tomorrow morning, guys, in New York session inside of the Profit Society channel. So make sure to go ahead and be a part of the community, guys, if you guys are not a part of the community just yet. I will be analyzing gold, and I will update you guys gold throughout the night if I'm awake on this. Right, but again, be inside of the Profit Society, guys, for all those updates as well. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for rocking with me tonight. Right, again, I am back every Asian session. providing y'all with this value. So I look forward to seeing y'all again. All right, but family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning during the New York session. Let's get it, y'all. Have a good one.